Welcome to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. In the previous part, we were planning out Nuclear City here, and this is something I do really want to get finished. I also was working on this area, and we put in some new buildings. We got a new university here, which is under construction. But there has been some consequences of that overwhelming focus on expansion, which I will talk about later on. But before that, I need to talk about quite an important issue, because the new aircraft and tourism update is now in the experimental branch, and for direct information, we are currently on that in this playthrough. I did bring it over, and I had a couple of crashes which I'll explain later on, but overall it does seem to be stable. That then leads into a number of comments I've had with someone saying, am I going to continue on with this series or start again? And the answer is that I'm going to carry on with the series in the short term, but eventually I'm going to need to restart. And the reason for that is that if you've watched my video I made on the new airports, I can't really find anywhere on this map. I've gone all the way over. I can't find anywhere where I could really build a big airport. And also another issue is, if I come in here, you can see that the way the game works is I've got the standard template for bulk site, which has been a little bit arbitrary. I mean, I've got some bulk site here, which I could exploit, but at the same time, I'm not sure whether that will actually fit in with the overall plan, because that isn't exactly flat. And that is the reason why this series will come to an end a little bit earlier than I originally planned. But what I would like to do is at least finish this city up here and Nuclear City before the series actually does finish. And now what I want to do is explain why I'm actually carrying on with this series, because it would have been very easy to say, right, abandon it and we'll start again, which I think some people covering this game have already done. Now, to me, there's reasons why I want to carry on with this series. One is that I want to use this slightly advanced economy to explore some of the new game mechanics. Although it's going to be a bit tricky, I would like to do a bit of experimentation with tourism on this map, which would be very difficult to do if I started over again. So that's something we are definitely going to be looking into in this map. And for any of you who are interested, if you actually click on here now, you will see that on the customs house there actually are tourists waiting to be picked up. Although the process of actually picking them up is, I'm not too sure at the moment. The problem I'm going to have is actually where am I going to fit tourist buildings into these very tight cities. Final reason why I'm not starting just at the moment is that over the last month I've been working on a custom map, and if any of you have watched my videos on the building railways and also the one on the airports, which I've released just recently, you will see that that is on a map which none of you have probably ever seen before, and that is the new custom map that I've been working on for my next Let's Play. Now, it's not finished, it's the polite term. The main structure's there, but I'm not completely happy with it. And of course, we've now got the standard bulk site map put in, although I did edit that a little bit for the video where I took a look at the update. But the bulk site's not exactly in the place where I really want it on the map. So I don't really want to start a new playthrough until that map is ready. And what I will say is, when that map is ready, I will be publishing it to the workshop. But that may be a little while yet, at least a week, possibly even two, while I get that sorted out. All that intro out the way, now what I'm going to do now is give you a bit of an update of where we got to. I mean, overall construction's going quite well. What I did do off camera is I've now added this rail construction office here. I think we need to add these two. And the reason I put this new rail construction office here is, well, there's two reasons really. The first reason is that the progress on the tunnels is really slow, and what I would like to do is get all this rail track put in, and so that effectively the trains coming the other way just need to concentrate on the tunnels. And the second reason is that if I'm going to push out railways out here, possibly even build bridges to these islands, having to bring the construction trains all the way through from the current locations is going to take a long time. So what will happen is eventually this construction site will probably take over from this one here. Where is it? This one here. That is the game plan. And just to give you a bit of an update with the rail track is, at the moment the rail track is pushed out to about here, and I just want to actually, it looks like it's stopped. Oh, was he still building here? No, he's still building here. because what I want to do is build out all this first before we push this way, because what that will mean is that this rail construction office will get into action. Now, that is the good news. Now, the bad news is that during the winter, I had a little bit of a disaster. And this is the reason why I feel the need to deal with a few issues and consolidate things. Actually, it looks like we've got a hospital here. Okay, we're still building the road here. And the disaster that actually happened is probably if I come in here and we back up to about December. And if I go to escapees, you'll see there I lost 1,565 escapees, and I've actually had 5,276 deaths. If you look quickly, you'll see that the deaths and the escapees coordinate roughly the same time, which is in late December. And what actually happened here was that when I went into winter, I wasn't paying attention to my heating plant here. You can see here that the heating plant is struggling a little bit at the moment, simply because we're not getting the workers in here to harvest the wood. And that is a bit of an issue, which I need to address, because what actually happened was, if I come in here, you'll see that the population here has literally collapsed. And if you watch the previous video, I was transferring over 21s from here, and that has gone really badly. And of course this has had a knock-on effect now, because if I come over to here, you'll see that we've got absolutely no workers in our iron mine, and I'm now running out of iron ore, which is then having a knock-on consequence over here with my steel mill. If I can find you, where are you, steel mill? I mean, I think I've still got a little bit of iron in here, and we've now run out of iron ore, but we've got a certain amount of reserve here of steel, so I'm not particularly that worried at the moment. But I think this is a good example that even when you think you've got everything under control, the population is growing, and you can see the population is at 18,481. In the moment you relax, this game can turn you over very quickly. And what I'm going to do now is pull some population out of here, but the population isn't particularly that strong. But I really feel that I need to get some population back into this area. Otherwise, when we get to the next winter cycle, we're not actually going to be able to, how can you say, make all these people happy. We'll just get some educated people in here as well. Let's put some more in here. I really do need to boost this population up, because we do need a maximum number of workers here. In fact, I'm almost tempted to split this one here and actually allocate you to there and the bus station. So we're going to actually have a dedicated workforce. Hopefully they will walk up here. If they don't, what we'll have to do is effectively, what I have to do is get them all up from the bus station to come here. I do need more and more workers in this area now, so that is a big problem. And I think I'm going to do is hook some workers out of here as well. I think this area is pretty busy. I just really need to rebuild this population. So we're going to, I think we're going to spread some more workers around. There's some more educated workers in here. Maybe we'll get a few more from another block. Now, I'm aware that if I pull too many citizens out of here, I'm then going to have problems with that city, and this is where it can go. And I know I can bring in immigrants, but it's not really the way I want to play at the moment. So I'm just going to get some more in here. Maybe a bit more over there. A few more educated ones in. And let's have a quick look now. You've only got 20. So these blocks virtually run out, which then also gave me a problem with the number of sellers in here and the education. And this is how the reason why things can spiral down just so quickly if you're not paying attention. So that is, yeah, I mean, hopefully the population is now going to improve. And another thing I've also done is actually started bringing electronics over here. And the reason for that is that if I flash over to this side of the map again, to my electronics factory here, so I've got this actually up and running, producing some electronics, but at the moment the production is very slow, but I think it will work over time. If you can see here, I think we are getting some electrical components in here. We've got 11 tons of them. We're now turning these into electronics, so we've got 2.28 tons of electronics here, so we've got a little bit of a workforce going here. And you can see around here I've actually got some resources coming into here, and I think we've got something here that we can actually possibly build a truck. Now I actually bought one blueprint, actually not that one, it's this one, and we got here, but I'm not. But the big problem I've got at the moment is I haven't got any workers up here, and I don't really want to pull the workers out away from the jobs they're doing here. I mean, it's a bit of a balancing act at the moment, which is causing me a lot of problems. And so, as I say, what I want to do is just keep an eye on the situation. And another problem I've got is, you can see we're only in April, and you can actually see, if I come in here, thank you for the autosave game, you can see that the amount of crops I've got stored is okay, but it's dropping quite quickly. And what seems to have happened is I got a bit of a bad harvest last year, and I'm not sure whether that actually was deliberate by the game, or whether that was just an accident that I didn't get all the crops in on time. And again, I wasn't paying attention, so that can be a problem. Now, one of the changes that was introduced as part of the update is, I don't think you can see it here, but what you will now get warnings is if your sowing starts too early, or more importantly, when the crops go into winter. So that's one of the new features that were introduced with the update. In fact, let's go through some of the new features, and for anyone who's not actually seen it. Now, there has been changes with this menu here, so which I'm going to have to get familiar with. You've now got metallurgy, and you can see steel now, aluminium, and stores and aggregates have now been brought together. There's also this now new dry bulk storage, and I suppose I better need to talk a little bit about that, because what actually happened was when I actually loaded this game into the new update, and I actually clicked on the cement plant here, the game just crashed outright. It just died completely. I think it's down to the fact that cement now can be moved using the, I can never remember what they're called actually, the dry bulk conveyor connections. And if I can find somewhere where I can put down a cement plant, or if we can find it, there's a bit of space over here. So I come in here and find the cement plant, and if I zoom in, what you'll see is there's now a couple of new connections which represent the actual dry bulk conveyors. But I think what they've actually done is they've retained the factory connections to ensure backward compatibility with the save game. And they've also done this exactly the same with the silo. You can see the silo's got multiple connections for connecting up the dry bulk, but it's still got the single factory connection as well. And the reason for that is that if we come back to the metallurgy, you see the dry bulk here. The dry bulk doesn't have a factory connection, and that also applies to the new railway bulk loading system. There's also one for roads. You can see there's lots of connections for this, in and out, but at the same time you can't connect this to any existing superstructure. Now, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there is actually also lots of new in-game sounds. So if you hear strange things, it's because of these new in-game sounds. So that's something else you need to be aware of. Something else that's been introduced is, if I come into here, there is now a save to cloud, but there is a bit of a warning with this at the moment that it may not be fully stable. So I would probably not recommend using this just at the moment, and maybe until it actually reaches the stable branch. That is the cloud. The next thing you also got in here is you've now got text on the minimap, but what I suggest you do if you want to see it is you really pull it out wide, and what you can actually see now is the various names of places on the minimap, which I think is very cool actually. But the only problem is if it's down here, you can't actually really see what's going on. So that's another new feature with the game. And we've also got new trucks. Let me just see if I can find a vehicle depot here. So if we come in here, I think that's it, trucks. Let's see, there's bound to be some open holes. I think they're called, I'm not sure if I've actually got the coverage from, yeah, I think it's they're called Remain, which I think is short for Romanian. I think these are the one here. Yeah, so there's a Remain something flatbed. Zeal. Let's just look at the covered holes. See if there's a covered hole version. And it's difficult to. There we are. This one here. Covered hole, and it's from 1968 to 1985, and it's got Romania next to it. So that's a new addition to the game. The next thing I want to look at is something that is going to be very much of an experiment, and probably the best place to experiment will be over here. These are the new railway signals. Now I have had a quick look at them, and I think I know what they're actually needed for, but not totally convinced on this. What we got here? Oh, this is a medium distribution office. Okay, you can see here these guys are. What are these waiting for? I mean, they're building something. It's moving very slowly. I think I might have a problem with the asphalt. Let me just check this. Sorry about that. Because I've got a feeling that we're not really getting the workers over here now, see, because of the population shortage over here. And we're still not really pulling in the logs. It says we're producing logs, but what's going on here? It's almost like we're cutting a lot of trees, but we're not actually getting the logs into here. So what's actually gone wrong? Partly inclined to put in another sawmill. I think what's happening is that, what is this here? It says no resource, missing wood. Why aren't these guys picking up the wood? Where are you? It makes me wonder whether they're having to go so far out. It's taking time to get wood into here. They're not delivering that much, are they? I hear a wailing noise. Is that the fire, the emergency services? The noise distracted me a little bit. I think I need a backup here. Let me just see. I'm getting a bit worried about that heating plant. Everything, I say, losing those workers has been a bit devastating. I mean, we got a whole pile of logs here. Can I find a distribution office that's got nothing to do? And the trouble is, it's going to be a long way over there. Building about. Oh, I'm getting power fluctuations as well. Wow. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. And let me just see. Yeah, I think when I've got 47 million, so let me just. I think we're just going to stop exporting power. I think I'm going to need all the power flow into my own city now. In fact, I think for the moment I'm just going to import some. I'm going to import 3.6 megawatts. So I've got 47 million. I might as well use it because there's no point about having a problem with power, which is the reason why. I just wonder whether power is part of the problem over here that's causing this problem. Maybe we can. We got this. I got this. I mean, yeah, I'm not getting the workers. What can I do here? I mean, normally these guys work very efficiently. I mean, let's just speed up a little bit. See if it. No. We're quite literally knocking along the bottom here. Right, we got. I think what I'm going to do is, this one's a very long way out, but I don't think I've really got a lot of choice. So we're going to get some open holes. And I want some big ones. Biggest one possible one, 16 tons of logs. Okay, we're going to bring in. This one over here is producing very, very quickly. So I think if we go to Where is it? You've got a surplus. Don't really want to drain it out of there. And so I'm just going to come over to here. And there. Load. And yeah, we're going to have to risk stealing all the logs from here. And hopefully that will keep this busy. I mean, he needs 384 tons. I think if these open holes can get the extra logs in here, this will give these guys a chance to actually get ahead a little bit. I think it's probably the best solution. Ah, we got fire. That's all I need, game. Thank you. Oh, no. Oh, so many things to do. So many things to do. Right, after that digression, I want to get back to what I wanted to talk about, which is the new signals. And as I said, I think I know what the new signals are for. And that is that if I come into here, we click on signals, you can see it's called mixed here. And I think what they're really intended for is this area here. And what you can do is come this way like this. And then what it means is that, and probably the best way to illustrate it, well, let me just do this side here as well. I think what it's really meant for is if I come over to here, where am I? Keep getting lost in the, oops, no, wrong part of the map, is down here. Let's get right over to here. I think it's really meant for, say, something like here. Oops, no. And what that means is that if the gravel train comes in here, it can go into here because that's as far as he's going. He's not going to come down to here. But it also means that the construction trains can come through. And I think that is the reason why this mixed signal's been introduced. But I can't actually think of any other use for it at the moment. I mean, if any of you have worked out another use for them, feel free to chuck it in the comments. Alright, we've got plenty of oil coming through. I want to check my steel mill. I mean, the iron is still flowing. We're getting still not really getting any deliveries. Am I getting anybody working up on in my iron steel mill? Okay, so we are definitely getting power problems. Let me just see. I mean, this is right out in the periphery. Yes, I'm definitely starting to get brownouts, aren't I? Let me just click on here. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I may have to really seriously consider building another power station. The question is, where could I put it in? I mean, I could put it over here, but I've got no space. This is the problem with this map, is space, 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 and space. I was going to talk a little bit about tourism in this part, but I don't think I can really do that at the moment. How's the... I mean, the crops are really disappearing very quickly. We're now up to April, but I think I've got food reserves. Yeah, we've got 325 food in there. We've got 193 tons of food in there. The possible weak point is over here because this area here needs food. We got 18 tons, but we've got some crops coming in here, and I think up over here life is getting a little bit better. So we're just going to... I mean, we've got piles of food in here. The university's being built. It's just that nothing is actually being put together. You can also see down here we've got the second shopping centre here. This is without a power supply. Yeah, I'm just so reluctant now to carry on expanding until I've sorted out a power situation. See, we've got the population back up over 19,000. Hopefully that will mean that Bridge City is starting to get a little bit more back together. I mean, we are getting some workers in here. Right, we've just had a train here. Yes, we are now getting some workers back into the iron mine. Thank goodness for that. because the trains are parked here, as much as they're producing here, it's going straight into the train. So it's going to take a little while for these guys to get ahead of the trains. Go over here. Now we have finished the fire station here, but I don't have the workforce to come out here. So let me just see, what is the situation here? You're a waste of time. I can put you guys onto it. And again, we've got to put Bridge City. Because... So we've got a few workers out here. I just really need to get this area built up. I'm just so reluctant now to add more load to the construction offices. This is the fun of the game, isn't it? Let's just get back to here. So we got our first deliveries of logs here. Yeah, so we're starting to gain a bit now, which makes me a bit happier. The distribution office is now getting in here, and we're actually getting the heating working, which should make everybody a bit happier here. And yep, this is the food situation here. I think this food situation over here is good. Let's just do an update with the rail track. Yeah, I think the guy in Bridge City has now run out of jobs. Let me just take a quick look. Yep. So we're just going to get over here. And what I would like is for him, I want you to carry on building up that way. I would like to, what I'm more interested in is going up this way, because the construction train here can build his own outlet here. What is this? I've got a city accounting office here, which, I mean, how are you guys off for jobs? You're working on the storage. I think maybe we can add you to that one. Okay, accounting office. What are you guys working on? You can give an assist with the accounting office. I think maybe we can get you started bringing some stuff into here. You can, I don't know if you're actually hearing this. Let me just find another construction office, but they've put in a really strange sound now with respect to the when you allocate jobs. If I come in here, I'm just going to allocate the jobs here. I mean, it's going to all be built anyway. You go, if you listen, you get kind of a really odd sound now. And it looks like we've now got our university up and running. That's brilliant. Very happy with that. That symbol on the top. Oh, we got an observatory on the roof. Never noticed that before. Well, that's cool. There's temperature in building too low. I think we've got a problem with the heating of this side as well. Okay, we got a problem here. Okay, you're blocking. Yeah, it's because I've got 3 trucks on here bringing out. I think what we'll do is we'll take 2 of them off. And we'll just have 1 here keeping it topped up. And the other trucks can run backwards and forwards. Yeah, because I really just wanted to make this place full up. And of course what had happened there was there was no workers in here. That's why we got no heating. That'd be pretty deadly. All these things are sent to try. I mean, what I wouldn't mind here is actually a bus stop, I think. Whereas where would I fit it in? I mean, it's such a mismatch of power connectors. I mean, could I put a... Oh, there's a power cable there. I think this is what happens with this game, is that you end up building things and then you regret building them the way you are. I've not got any workers here. One game, get it together. I'm going to need a bus stop here. I just really feel it. I'm going to get one in here. And we could put one here. Would that be clear? I think that could be close enough, but could I justify it? Not build due to infrastructure. There's something in there. I mean, I could break the power lines out to here and just move these power lines, but that would affect this area here. I think we're just gonna have to stick with it and see how things go. Come on. Okay, we've got workers in here at last. The game's settled down a bit. I'm sure this game is designed to give you heart attacks. Let's get back over to Bridge City. Are you guys actually gaining a bit? You're still not gaining that much. Amount of wood, fat and forest, 621 tons. Well, I think the population is now improving. We've actually got another power supply over to here. Everyone should stay warm as long as I can keep the wood flowing into here. Kind of part of me says put some wood production over here, maybe over here. Oh, log production, and then we could ship the logs from here rather than there. But we'd have to kind of, maybe if I put a road out through here, so maybe like that, and we'll just push out a road like that next there. And then what we could do is get some log production. We're going to need roads out here for our plastic and chemicals. Can I get... This is where there's not going to be enough height for these. Right, we could put a road through to here. Yeah, I think what I need to do is get this road built. And then what we'll do is we'll put another forestry building in here. And then maybe we could put a... Actually, what we could do is there's any way we can get a road connection over here. No. Oh, we can get a little bit of a road down here. Oh, we got a fire. No, this isn't going to work, is it? Can't cancel. Or was that fire? Oh, this is serious. Go on, guys, get here. They've saved it. They've saved the day. Yeah, I really feel the need to stabilize what I'm doing and find out what's going on. Right, let's just get back to thing. Oh, the other thing I did find off when I was checking the railways through here off cameras, I actually had a little bit of broken track here. So my passenger train was actually going all the way out round here, round the loop, and coming back round here. But I've actually managed to get that fixed. So let me just see, how's the... We're getting a little bit ahead with the steel now. It's just I've got to check the power me just come in here. Wattage. Actually, it's probably voltage is probably better. 228, 230. We come over to here, because the way the power distribution works is that it's when the voltage drops, you get problems on the peripheries. I seem to be getting the power out here now. I think it's because we're actually importing. Let me just have a look at how much money we're making. How much power are we importing? How much did we import last month? Yeah, we're not importing that much, so it shows that. But the very fact that I am importing power means that I'm now starting to get power peaks. So I think we're going to need to stick with the importation. So that's something we're going to have to stick with, unfortunately, for the short term. Let's just double check here. Yeah, we're getting a few people in here producing a little bit of iron ore. Get back over here. The roads are being built. I mean, I'd love to get Bridge City over here, but I just don't feel I need to be pulling my crew over here. I mean, Bridge City's actually just got... What he's doing at the moment is building roads. What have we got here? The hospital. I think we can... I think we need another hospital here as well, because there were health issues. Maybe I can add the construction office over here. Gonna need that gas station. Okay, you come into there. I mean, I'd like to get workforce here, but I don't think it's gonna go. Okay, you got a fire again. Where are we burning down now? There's a... You should be okay. There's a local fire station here. Fire crews, please. On the job. Oh, they're already there. Didn't see them. So I've recovered the iron ore. Let me just check here. Let's check here. Yeah, we've got plenty of oil. Let me just see. What are you loading at the customs house? Oh, I put you back to 100%, did I? I think I'm going to reduce you back down to about 50. I mean, I was really hoping that I'd be able to stop importing oil, but things are just a little bit marginal at the moment. This is good. University's good. Population is back over 20,000 and growing quite nicely. We've got one over 21. Where are you? Over 21. Okay, let me just get here. I mean, I'm not really planning on moving the over 21. I just want to see if I can find... Okay, so we're getting some over 21s in here. Which is good, because what I would like to do is... Right, we've got quite a lot of workers in here. I just want to keep pushing up the workforce back in Bridge City here. Because this is the part of the map that... Okay, we're just going to... punch in some more, get some more educated ones in. Because the population here needs to be really big and strong to keep our forward production going. So it looks like these guys are actually starting to gain, which is good. We're back up to 82 tons. Yes. I can relax a little bit now with respect to winter. Let's just check the fuel. The fuel's dropped a little bit, but we're okay. Right, I'm relaxing a bit now. I'll be completely honest. I am relaxing a little bit. We've now got but all right. You need to store gravel. I think what we really need here is a distribution office be able to pull in the resources for this area here. I think they need their own distribution office. So we're going to drop that in. We'll go for a fairly big one. And I don't really want to put it there. And can we get you... We can tuck you in just behind here. We'll just get you here. And we'll just hook you up. Otherwise, oh... I don't want that one. You in there. And we'll get that built. I think if we got a dedicated distribution office here, actually build the rail depot as well. Main construction. And actually one thing I do want to check is, yeah, we got the fire coverage here. What's the populate? Yeah, I mean we got plenty of growth room in here as well. I think actually what we can do is add you to the northern construction office. And we're now coming up to June. What's the food situation like? Okay, you're out. You're out. That means the food level's starting to drop now. I'm a bit worried about this. So, and these guys are literally sat around doing nothing. So I think what we're going to do is add the customs office to there and tell you to load crops. And what you can do is start delivering crops to the food silo and the small farm. We're just going to have to import those crops until we get through the harvest season, I think. Well, I don't think we've really got a lot of choice from that perspective, because I just don't want to deplenish my food stocks going into winter, because we're already in June and we need to think that far ahead. I think part of the problem here is that we're not really getting the workforce in here as well either. I need a power station. I need a power station. I mean, I could put one up here. The other thing I also did is I brought over the power supply to here, and I actually haven't built this. So I brought this power cable all the way across from over here, basically to provide more power into this area, rather than just depending on this single power line coming up here. So if we get this built, possibly put some more resources in. You're actually building this out now, and we actually need this built as well. What's that crossover doing? This is a bit of a mess actually, isn't it? Oh well, that's the way it is. I mean, this is literally just going to be a maintenance line. We have the depot here, and eventually we'll have our rail production area here. And I'm aware that time's pushing on, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go and check my rail construction and see how much progress they're making. This guy, how far have you got through? You've nearly finished this tunnel. And I think I'd be a bit inclined to just let him run through there. But he's nearly finished that tunnel. How's my tunnelers over here working? So you have 50%. The other one. They're nearly there. And actually, I just had a sudden thought. Is there a way that we could use these mixed signals here? They like change it that way? Would that work? We would have to leave it there to do it. That segmented area there. Yeah, I think that might be another use for mixed signals as well. when you're actually running construction trains, because you want the construction trains to be able to run into these areas. If I say I take that out, I wonder if that will work. My other train, are you around? I mean, the distances these trains would go, right, he's just coming through here. We're just going to follow him and just see how, whether that will actually work. Because the problem I had with when you had the combinate chain signal here, because there was no other signal up here, it would never enter it. So I wonder whether the mixed signal will work. So we'll just give this a go and just see. Well, in theory it should work because this is showing green. So he should come up here, he should cross over here, and of course he won't go up that way. Yes, it's actually worked. And now they're both red to say that there's trains working up there. So that is another use for the mixed signals. And then of course we got the final tunnel over here. That one, where's the rail tunnel here? And this guy's about 50% through as well, but this is by far the longest tunnel of all. Because it literally comes all the way through to, where is it? Here. Well, that's a very long tunnel. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Apologies that I didn't get much of a chance to look at tourism, but we'll be looking at that in the next part. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.